Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive day, or at least productive night, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. If y'all can hit the like button as soon as y'all come in, it'll be very much appreciated. Shout out to everybody that's already in the comment section. Shout out to my boy, Jay Cash. He said, what's happening, Mark? I'm maintaining, my brother. I appreciate you coming through and showing love. My boy, Shay, he said, yo, what's good? I can't complain, man. I'm feeling extremely blessed. You know what I'm saying? Everything coming together at the gym. We got a fight this weekend, I believe, at Unite Central PA Boxing Gym. I don't know exactly where that is. I believe it's close to Harrisburg or whatever. But regardless, we got some things going on, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button on the way in, of course. Close to Harrisburg. Let me make sure everything's correct before I step. Shout out to everybody that came through, liking the video as always, man. We got some things that we currently need to discuss in the boxing world. You know what I'm saying? We're going to speak about Gervonta Davis's team possibly having doubts of facing Shakur Stevenson, along with Terence Crawford and Eddie Hearn going at it in person, man. We definitely going to talk about this. And, you know, before I get into this video, man, I just want to say this. What I mean by Terence Crawford and Eddie Hearn going at it is nothing on no personal shit. There's some good little trash talk going back and forth. You know what I mean? That's not clickbait. They were going at it, but you know, going at it might have a negative connotation and, you know, the majority of the time, but, you know, they were just having like a little, you know, little banter, you know what I'm saying? So we definitely going to get into that. And when I'm saying Gervonta Davis team having doubts of facing Shakur Stevenson, I'm not talking about Gervonta Davis having doubts within himself. So let's get that understood before we get into this conversation. But shout out to everybody that's coming through. MB26 says, love this channel to death. Just sad the hour goes by quick. Yo, these dudes be dramatic, man. I mean, we got plenty of content to go around. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, be patient, my brother. Be patient with me, and I'm going to keep providing the content necessary. Shout out to MB26. Coffee Plant says future. Shout out to the boy Coffee Plant. What up? Boxer Film said, let's talk that talk. Yeah, let's get into it, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far, man, that's showing love to the channel. Shout out to everybody that's been, you know, purchasing Mazuma merch, man. I've gotten a few purchases and people really liking the new designs that I put up. You know what I mean? And you know, there's people that have the opportunity to use the promo code, but they're not even using it. They're paying the full price. You know, I would like to see people, you know, use the promo code and stuff like that. But the fact that they're not using the promo codes lets me know that they really support me. You know what I mean? And they're not looking for no discount. So shout out to the nation in the mob. You know, for those of y'all who bought the merch, man, as soon as y'all get it, please take a picture of the merch or just take a picture with you in it. I'll post you on the page. I'll shout you out on the channel, man. It is very much appreciated, man. Go check out MazumaMerch.com. I don't know if the promo code is still up, but if you use the promo code NATION, you will get 10% off whatever is on the website, whether we talking about, you know, coffee mugs, die-cut stickers, hoodies, T-shirts, tank tops, crew necks, long sleeve tees. We got it all on the MazumaMerch.com, man. Go look at it right there on the banner below, and go cop you something, man. I want to see my merch all over the world, man. We got people on here from Australia, Japan, the UK, Spain. My boy Jordan Sheriff out in Spain. You know, Canada. You know, United States. You know what I'm saying? East Coast, West Coast. We got people from the Midwest. You know what I'm saying? New York, Philly, Baltimore, man. We got them all over the place. So I want to see Mazuma merch everywhere, man. And I appreciate everybody that's been coming through showing love. But let's get into the boxing talk, man. And let me pull up this video real quick. My homie Reed, shout out to my homie Reed. He don't be popping in all like that, but he always keeps me informed of what's going on, specifically on Twitter, because I don't really be on there all like that for real. You see what I'm saying? But let me see. Let me see if I can pull this up right now. And this was a conversation that I had spoken about recently. You know what I'm saying? Let me see this right here. Let me adjust this comment. Boxing Film says, was you surprised seeing Tank fight being the aggressor when the last time we seen that was against Barrios? He's been playing the counter-punching game. I think the reason why he did that with Frank Martin was because he felt like he had Frank Martin psychologically. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he had noticed just watching film on Frank Martin that, you know, he's only, you know, comfortable stepping forward. So I think he just put him in an uncomfortable situation and it ended up working out for him. I think that he put not just physical pressure on Frank Martin. I think he put a lot of psychological pressure on Frank Martin, and he knew that he had him at the end of the day. When he made him flinch at the press conference and shit like that, Tank Davis already knew that if he could make him flinch at a press conference, he could definitely make him fold under some feints in the ring, and that's exactly what happened, and that was the beginning of the end. You feel what I mean? But, you know, I think that he's been playing a counter-punching role because he's been in there with significantly bigger guys that, you know, are hard punchers. It could put you out with one shot, whether we talking about Isaac Cruz, who's not a bigger guy, but he packs a hell of a punch and he applies a lot of pressure. It wasn't scared of Gervonta Davis's power. You know, Ryan Garcia, who's a big dude who could put you out with one shot. Rolly Romero, who's a big dude that could take one shot. You know what I'm saying? I think that with Frank Martin, he's a big dude, but he's a lightweight at the end of the day. And you know, I think that, how can I say this about Frank Martin? I'm not trying to come off disrespectful or anything like that, but I think that he was more concerned with Tank's power than Tank was concerned about his power. You know what I'm saying? Like Ryan Garcia, he came in reckless against Tank. He didn't care about Tank's power. Tank was worried about that left hook, though. You know what I'm saying? Isaac Cruz, you could tell he wasn't really scared of Gervonta's power, which was why he had no trouble pushing him back. Rolly was coming in reckless. He got caught, but, you know, you could tell he didn't respect Tank power until that shit caught him. You feel what I'm saying? No, he wasn't the aggressor against Rolly, MB. You must have not watched the fight, my brother. He was on the back foot the majority of the time, and even the knockout shot was him going on the back foot. You know what I'm saying? Tank went up against the ropes. He baited Rolly in, and he ran him into an overhand. But, you know, to say that he was the aggressor, that's not true at all. You know, Rolly was the aggressor the entire 6 rounds until he got stopped. So that's definitely not true. I advise that you go back and watch the fight. And considering the fact that you're a Gervonta Davis fan, you should actually know that. That's kind of, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of funny, but it is what it is, man. So let's get into this boxing talk, man. I want to address this shit right here because whenever I speak on Gervonta Davis, and it's not in a way, what do you mean? You think he does the same against Shakur? What do you mean by that, Glizzy? You think that he comes forward? You think that I mean, if he's fighting Shakur Stevenson, he better be the fucking aggressor and he better be applying a whole lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? But he's going to have to go about it a little bit different than he did with Frank Martin. I think that pressure needs to – I think that Tank needs to start fast against Shakur Stevenson. First of all, point blank period, he needs to start off fast. On top of that, he also needs to, you know, focus on volume. You know what I'm saying? Because if Gervonta Davis is going to be one of them dudes that's not going to be letting his hands go a lot, you know, Shakur is a defensive specialist, right? So for you to go up against somebody who's as, you know, crafty defensively as Shakur Stevenson, you got to let your hands go. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're throwing 2-3 punches at a time, or you're only throwing a little bit of punches in a small amount of time within those 3 minutes, Shakur Stevenson is going to be able to evade a lot of those shots. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Tank, you know, he would need to start early so he won't lose those later rounds. You know what I mean? I think that he needs to put those body shots together on Shakur Stevenson to take them legs away from him. And I just think that he needs to put consistent pressure and put Shakur Stevenson in as many uncomfortable situations as possible. And in all honesty, if I'm Gervonta Davis or I'm somebody a part of Gervonta Davis's team, I would specifically focus on that camp with volume, being in the best shape possible. You know what I mean? Being able to let your hands go for 12 rounds straight. Then on top of that, I would really focus on, you know, making Shakur Stevenson uncomfortable to the point where he has to fight Tank up off of him. The more opportunities Tank, the more chances Gervonta Davis gets in exchange with Shakur Stevenson, the more successful he will be. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to have to put Shakur Stevenson in a lot of 50-50 exchanges if he wants to clip that man. You know what I mean? You don't want to take the chance, you know, take it to the scorecards where this man may possibly outbox you. You know what I mean? Have you going all around the ring looking for him. Man, you got to make Shakur Stevenson uncomfortable. You got to play some body shots real good. Because from what I've been hearing, I just seen an interview from Clarissa Shields talking about she hit Shakur with a good body shot. Shakur got all mad and took off on her and shit like that. There's too many rumors about Shakur Stevenson not being able to take body shots. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, not reacting well to body shots. So with that being considered, man, Gervonta is more than capable of beating Shakur Stevenson. I'm not gonna say I'm rooting for him because I just want to see a good fight at the end of the day. But what I am gonna say is I'm gonna have Gervonta Davis as the favorite if he goes about things the right way against Shakur Stevenson. The night that they get into the ring, I'm picking Gervonta Davis to win. You feel what I'm saying? But he needs to follow a specific set of rules. He cannot go about the Shakur Stevenson fight how he did with Frank Martin. Because if that's the case, it's going to be easy pickings for Shakur. You feel what I'm saying? It's going to be easy pickings for Shakur if he just walk to him and just let him win all these early rounds. He cannot afford to do that with somebody like Shakur Stevenson and just banking on his power to win the fight. It's not going to happen, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So anyways, let's get into this conversation, man. Shout out to the 11 people that's in the building so far. I appreciate everybody that's coming through and showing love. If you can hit the like button as soon as you come in, it'll be very much appreciated, as I stated before. You feel what I mean? Let's get those likes up so more people could be, aware of what's going on the channel. YouTube being on some BS, not sending out my post notifications. I mean, my notifications when I go live. This used to be a channel when I was getting notifications sent out. I was having 25 to 30 people at a time, and now it's like 15 to 20, you know what I'm saying, on average now. It is what it is. I ain't going to whine. I ain't going to complain. I mean, they ain't going to stop exactly what's going on anyway, so I ain't tripping. You feel what I mean? But let's get into this, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. So let's talk about Gervonta Davis's team having doubts and facing Shakur Stevenson. And I don't want to get – of course you didn't. Glizzy, of course you didn't get the notification. A lot of people didn't. I'm not surprised, man. But I'm going to just put these comments to the side so I don't get distracted and I can get into exactly what I want to get into because the comments be catching me up sometimes. So I'm going to get back into the comments in a little bit. So obviously I had made a video a couple days ago. I believe it was 2 or 3 days ago. And the video is titled, Gervonta Davis confirms. Well, I didn't even mean to write it like that. I should have retitled that. My apologies for that. Gervonta Davis, I meant to say Gervonta Davis's team confirms Shakur Stevenson will not be next. What fight makes more sense? I had put out that video the 25th, and today it is the 29th. So this was 4 days ago, right? All right, cool. So since then, I've been having a lot of people, of course, whenever you speak in a negative light about Gervonta Davis or whatever the situation is, you're gonna get them people that's constantly on the defense. Instead of just thinking about things objectively and holding their people accountable, what they do is just jump to people's defense. You know what I mean? And I can tell these are the type of people that y'all like to hide from the truth, man. Y'all don't like to address the elephant in the room. Y'all don't be ready for these real conversations. You feel what I'm saying? Because I've had plenty of fighters that I looked up to and that I actually was big fans of. And, it's uncomfortable to speak about your favorite fighter in a negative light, or at least, having some type of negative criticism towards them. Because with them being your favorite fighters, of course, you want to see them do right all the time. But unfortunately, motherfuckers is human. They're going to fuck up, and you're not going to agree with what everybody does. And that's simply the stand. It's simply that perspective that I have with Gervonta Davis. I'm a fan of the dude. I love the way he fights. I just said in my latest video that I put out today, I only think he's 2-3 fights away from legitimately proving that he's the best in or around his division from 135 to 140, right? And I said that he's only 2 to 3 fights away from being top 5, top 3 on the pound for pound list. If Gervonta Davis in this 6 or 7 fight deal was able to eliminate Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney is still around. If he watches William Cepeda, who's an undefeated contender, ranked in all the sanctioning bodies at lightweight, you know what I'm saying? If he was able to, really do these things and take out some top opposition, if he were to beat Shakur and Devin back to back, or just beat all of them within this deal, now you're talking pound for pound status because both of those guys, I don't know exactly where Devin Haney is since the little problem he had with Ryan Garcia. He's probably not even on the list anymore. But both of these guys were rated as pound for pound fighters at one point in time. I think that's safe to say, right? Shakur Stevenson is still on that pound for pound list as far as I'm concerned. So Gervonta Davis, and even to this day, Gervonta Davis is in a lot of people's top 10 pound for pound list. So imagine if he were to defeat 2 other guys that happen to share the pound for pound list with him. His skyrocket, like his pound for pound rating will soar. You feel what I mean? He might make top 3 on people's list depending on who you're talking to. You feel what I'm saying? So I have nothing against Gervonta Davis, but at the end of the day, if you really fuck with somebody, and this is what a lot of people fail to realize, these yes men out here that just try to defend everything a motherfucker do, you know what I'm saying, and try to legitimize every move they make, even if it's wrong, those not really your people, man. Those not really your people. Yes, men are not your fucking friends, bro. They will watch you crash and burn and be completely okay with it because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? As long as they're on your good side and they're able to benefit off of you, you know what I mean? They could care less exactly what happens to you. As long as they're benefiting from you, they could give a fuck about what happens to you. And I've seen that shit happen time and time again. Being in the boxing world as long as I've been in it, and I haven't even been in it that long. You know, I'm a young kid, but you get what I'm saying. Like with the experience that I've had, I've seen top fighters in the city have yes men around them, and shit when shit goes south for them yes men not around no more. And then once that person is able to bounce back and do something, you know what I mean? They want to find their way back in the picture. And sometimes they do because they master manipulators like that. But regardless, I'm talking about Gervonta Davis's team. I'm sure Gervonta Davis has all the confidence in the world that he could beat Shakur Stevenson. I don't think that he'll be a top fighter in the world if he didn't have confidence in himself. But I'm not going to sit here and act like Gervonta Davis's team don't be talking funny whenever they speak about the possibility of their fighter fighting Shakur Stevenson. That's one thing that we are not going to ignore. You feel what I'm saying? Now, let me find this video real quick and really get down to this. You know what I'm saying? Reese says marinating fights never really work out. That's a fact. That's a fact. Because look at it this way. Even if they do fight each other, there's going to be motherfuckers that be like, damn, what if they would have fought like 5-6 years ago? Remember with Mayweather and Pacquiao? They let that shit marinate for 5-6 years. And then they was like, man, and like, you know, Floyd Mayweather, you know, he schools Manny Pacquiao. And they'd be like, man, you know, they should have fought 5-6 years earlier, man. You know, Manny Pacquiao would have had a better chance in 2010. Man, but bro, when motherfuckers was trying to make that fight and call it for that fight that happened in 2010, y'all was like, no, man, we need to let this fight just marinate just a little bit, man. It'll be more. This is boxing fans now. These are boxing fans that don't make no money from the fight. Man, we need to let these guys build the fight up a little bit more, man. It'll be worth more at the end. It'll be more worth it at the end for their pockets. Then when it happens 5-6 years down the line, then they like, man, I wish this fight would have happened 5-6 years ago. He would have had a better chance 5-6 years ago. You cannot win. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You see what I mean? MB, stop telling niggas shut up, man. Stop telling niggas shut up. But anyway, let me get these comments out my way again. They distracted me. So I'm gonna find this video right here. You know what I mean? This is a video with Coach Calvin Ford. You feel what I mean? This is Coach Calvin Ford. I think it was on a group chat. Let me check if it was on a group chat, man. Let me see if I can find it. People be sending links in the group chat. Let me see. Shit, they was doing a whole lot of talking. All right, let me find it right here. I think this is it right here. Let me try to pull it up. And I'm going to let y'all listen to the audio. You feel what I mean? Let me see. Is this it right here? Yeah, this is it right here. So this is by somebody by the name of Todd Dolo. Let's hear the audio now. This is Coach Calvin Ford doing an interview with, I believe it's called On the Ropes Boxing. So shout out to On the Ropes Boxing. You feel what I mean? This is Coach Calvin Ford's exact words. This is him right here in the video. So we're not going to sit here and act like this is somebody else's voice or somebody impersonating him. So let's move on.
When they mention Saints name, it's always the forefront of social media. You know what I'm saying? Again, sometimes when I say something, they misunderstand. You know what I'm saying? Like, they keep saying Shakur is the biggest fight. No, he's not. Yeah.
According to Coach Calvin Ford, Shakur Stevenson is not the biggest fight for Gervonta Davis at this moment. So I'm going to let y'all guys talk, man. We got the nation in here. We got 15 people in here. Coach Calvin says Shakur Stevenson is not the biggest fight for Gervonta Davis at this point in time. Who else would it be? What fight in the lightweight division right now? Shit, you can even include 140. What fight between 135 to 140 is a bigger fight than Shakur Stevenson right now? Mind you, he already fought Ryan Garcia. That shit was already taken care of. They did numbers. All right, cool. Yeah, already starting off with the duck talk. You see what I'm saying? And I understand that, yo, listen, I understand that Coach Calvin, Coach Kenny, they don't conduct the business behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying? I'm very well aware of that. But we're not going to sit here and act like these motherfuckers don't be saying what they're saying. Now, from what I heard, I don't really watch Coach Kenny like that. I heard he was saying a totally different thing. It seems like he's a little bit more confident in Gervonta Davis or whatever the situation is. But Coach Calvin is the head trainer at the end of the day. You feel what I'm saying? So he's really the one that knows Gervonta Davis the most. He raised Gervonta Davis from a puppy. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being known, if he's not confident in Gervonta Davis when he pretty much built this nigga to what the fuck he is, then obviously he sees some holes in Gervonta Davis's game that he doesn't want the world to be exposed to yet. It's something about Gervonta Davis's style that doesn't give Coach Calvin the confidence necessary to speak confidently on the possibility of facing Shakur Stevenson. That's something I'm not going to sit here and ignore at all. You feel what I mean? Starting off by discrediting Shakur Stevenson as the biggest fight for Gervonta Davis right now is crazy. Can y'all honestly, look, we got 15 people in the building. Can y'all name a fight between lightweight to super lightweight that is a bigger fight for Gervonta Davis than Shakur Stevenson right now? Which one is a bigger money grab? Because if we talking about the Isaac Cruz rematch, absolutely not. William Cepeda is not as well known as Shakur Stevenson. He doesn't have the popularity as Shakur Stevenson. He's not more relevant than Shakur Stevenson. So how is that a bigger fight? You feel what I mean? Coffee Plant says nobody. Cool. Who else? Ralph says no one outside of Core. Shakur is the biggest fight, right? So when he starts it off like that, the first thing people do when they're talking that duck talk is attempt to discredit that person. You feel what I'm saying? That's what they do. When Abel Sanchez was out here discrediting Andre Ward so Triple G could duck Andre Ward, what did he say? He said black fighters don't sell. And Coach Calvin is literally following that same formula, that same path, because he said in an interview with Fanon Boxing that he said when black fighters fight black fighters, they don't sell. You feel what I mean? But I swear to God, on everything I love, I believe Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis is one of the most paid for pay-per-view fights in boxing history. Boxer Phil said, Mark, the street's going to be outside if it happened. You fucking right. That shit going to go crazy. If that shit is on the East Coast, that shit going crazy. They were to fight in New York, that shit going crazy. Come on, man. Let's look at the top selling pay-per-view fights of all time, because I understand, the Mexicans and the black fighters traditionally, when they fight each other, they do hella numbers because we bringing the black fans over with the Mexican fans. You feel what I'm saying? But let's take a look. Cause I swear to God, I've seen. Let me see. Let's check this out right here. I swore Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis is on there. And they both black fighters to me. So I'm providing that example to let you know that it's possible for two black fighters to fight each other and still do great numbers. You feel what I mean? Let me see. Mayweather Peck, yo. Let me see. What the fuck? Shit, I guess I was wrong then. Shit, I can't even find this shit. Hold on. This website a little bit iffy. Let me see something. Number 10. Can y'all believe this? The top 10 biggest selling box pay-per-views in history. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones is number 10. Can y'all believe that shit? Y'all believe that? Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones. According to this website, GiveMeSport.com, I didn't even know this. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones did 1.65 million pay-per-view buys. Is that cap? Also, Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson 2, ranked number 7, did 1.99 million buys. Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson did 1.95 million buys. So I don't want to hear that shit that people saying. Nobody wants to hear that shit that black fighters versus black fighters don't sell. That completely, bro, all you got to do is just a little bit of research and you can see past the bullshit. I just named 1, 2, 3 out of the 10. And then it's a whole mix-up after that. 3 out of the 10 that I'm seeing right here. Now, this could be and the numbers, bro. Yo, old ass Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones generated $80.5 million, bro. $80.5 million. You feel me? Let's move on right here. Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson 2, the rematch, did $100 million. This shit is insane. And then Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson. And this is old wash Mike. This was Lennox Lewis on his way out. 1.95 million buys translate into $112 million, bro. So you mean to tell me that these historical fights that have happened transpired between black fighters, you mean to tell me that in this current era that 2 black fighters couldn't sell? Mind you, I do see that the majority of the list happens to be black and Mexican, so that theory isn't coming out of nowhere. But don't sit here and act like black versus black don't sell now. You see what I'm saying? I don't really understand where motherfuckers be coming from with all that. And I feel like he got that shit from the Floyd Mayweather blueprint. You feel what I'm saying? Because I was hearing motherfuckers say that shit back when Floyd was popping. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's just been that's a theory that's been debunked multiple times. All you got to do is just check at the most. All you got to do is just check. Because in my head, when people say that shit and they make claims like that, I'm like, all right, let me see exactly where he's getting this from. And then I'll do my research. Most bought pay-per-views of all time. And I see multiple examples of black versus black selling. So that is automatically debunked in my mind. That's capped to me. I don't believe that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what Coach Calvin said at the very beginning. So I'm already calling bullshit within 16 seconds of this video being played. Let's move on. Let me see what else he got to say.
That's what I'm saying, because in history, going back over that Floyd days, when he fought an African-American fighter, the money don't generate. We just saying toward the high.
So he said that when Floyd fought other black fighters, the money didn't generate. Now, in terms of pay-per-view breaking numbers, he might have a point. Let's see. According to Business Insider, Floyd Mayweather versus Shane Mosley did 1.4 million pay-per-view buys. When Shane Mosley was the number 1 welterweight in the world after beating the dog shit out of Antonio Margarito, who a lot of people said Floyd ducked. Floyd Mayweather faces him. This is a John where Floyd Mayweather got rocked. He had spaghetti legs. 1.4 million pay-per-view buys. How the fuck is that not generating revenue? Let's move on. Let's see if Floyd and Zab Judah was pay-per-view. Was that pay-per-view? That one did. Okay, that was all right. 374,000 pay-per-view buys. But I just provided a key example regardless. Him versus Shane Mosley did 1.4 million pay-per-view buys. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy, the maestro, Derek Moore in the motherfucking building. He said, just watched the Ward versus Crawford sparring. Wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Thought it was going to be some straight through footage, but it was chopped up movie episode style. Well, I already knew it was going to be I already knew it was going to be like that from the beginning because Andre Ward just signed the deal with all the smoke. You see what I'm saying? So they're going to chop that shit up because, for one, Terence Crawford got a fight coming up, so they ain't about to show all Terence Crawford's tricks. You know what I mean? That's going to be easy homework for Israel Madrimov and his team to study, so they're not going to give them too much. Then on top of that, Andre Ward has been retired for about 7 years already, 6-7 years. I think he retired in 2017. So I wasn't expecting to see any top-notch work from Andre Ward. You feel what I mean? Because Terence Crawford is at his peak. He's in fighting shape right now. You know, Andre Ward, he's probably in shape, but he's not in any type of fighting shape. You feel what I'm saying? You said check my phone. Check my phone where, bro? You talking about the gram? Oh, shit. Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, do what y'all gotta do, yo. Do what y'all gotta do. I ain't even gonna speak on it. Do what y'all gotta do. That's fucking crazy. This motherfucker. Anyways, man. Anyways, I ain't even about to speak on that. Do what y'all gotta do, though. You feel me? But I just provided a key example of Floyd fighting another black fighter and it doing numbers. He said, "Oh, okay." Max was telling Bud to hold back a little. Yeah, it makes sense. Like, you know, you towards the end of your fight. I mean, you towards the end of your camp. You know what I'm saying? You got somebody in there who can be quality work, but you know, this is an older fighter who's literally only sparring you for, you know, just for content purposes. You know what I'm saying? They close friends. So I think Bomac didn't even really have to tell him to just take it easy on him or just to hold back a little bit. And you could tell Andre Ward was just he was just coasting. He was just coasting. And when I first saw them spar, I already had heard that they only did 3 rounds. You feel what I mean? Come to find out, it was 3 rounds, 4 minutes apiece. So with that being known, I kind of knew it was like technical sparring. Like, niggas not really doing too much. You know, Bud not really in there to hurt him. You know what I mean? You might see some little crafty shit, some sharp jabs, and you would just tell it was just some technical work. You feel what I mean? It wasn't like no going to war type shit. I really wasn't anticipating that at all. You know what I mean? So I wasn't really disappointed when I see it all chopped up and edited. They're not going to give Madrimov, you know what I mean, any type of homework to study or anything like that. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And by the way, you know, if it's 3 4-minute rounds, that literally is equivalent to 4 3-minute rounds. It's 12 minutes of work regardless. So Ward got 4 full rounds in, which, you know, it's not really much considering how experienced he is. He could probably do 4 rounds in his sleep being out of shape. You know what I mean? That's how sparring's supposed to be. I mean, it depends. It depends on who's in there. I mean, sometimes you gotta get gritty in there. You gotta bite down. You might have to go to war with a nigga just to see if you got it in you. You know what I mean? Sometimes sparring get out of hand. Like, I know I've had sparring sessions where, you know, niggas is just, you know, working and, you know, just catching little things. You feel what I'm saying? But then there's other times where, you know, shit might get a little bit heated in there and, you know, somebody gotta go. Like, I've been through that, bro. I ain't been boxing that long, but I know I've been through the ropes enough to know that sometimes shit get real and that sometimes shit be chilling. It all depends on the atmosphere. It all depends on the circumstances. It all depends on the situation. So let me go back into Coach Calvin shit. I keep cutting him off, but the only reason why I keep cutting him off for real, is because he's saying a whole bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I'm shooting down all these little theories that he's saying. He said, "No, we spar for highlight reels." No. Now, if you're from a different gym, that shit could definitely go left. But yeah, I mean, with the stable I got, we don't be doing shit like that. Anyways, let's get back to what Coach Calvin said. So he already said 2 bullshit Jones. He said black versus black don't sell. I just provided you 3 all-time selling pay-per-views that was between black fighters. Then he went on to say that Floyd never did numbers with a black fighter, and I just provided Floyd versus Shane Mosley, which did 1.4 million pay-per-view buys. So let's move on. Let me see.
You know what I'm saying? When they mention the same thing, it's always the forefront of social media. You know what I'm saying? Again, sometimes when I say something, they misunderstand. You know what I'm saying? Like, they keep saying Shakur is the biggest fighter. No, he's not. You understand what I'm saying? Because in history, going back over that Floyd days, when he fought an African-American fighter, the money don't generate. We just seen two of the hottest fighters in the world fight against each other. They couldn't even outdo Tank and Garcia fight. Correct, because this talk.
He just said that we just seen two of the most popular fighters, black fighters, get in the ring and outdo Tank and Ryan Garcia. Now, Gervonta, the only reason, and I'm gonna say this, that's a pretty valid point, but you guys got to understand, Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis was on a different level from Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, because both of those fights were catering to two different fan bases. You feel what I'm saying? Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence was majority hardcore boxing fans. You feel what I'm saying? They understood that Terence Crawford was one of the best in the world. They knew that Errol Spence was one of the best in the world. You know what I'm saying? And they might have not had like the commercial, backing. They might have not had like the casual boxing fans on their side, but this was one of the most meaningful fights to be made in the sport of boxing. And they still did some pretty solid pay-per-view numbers from what I understand. But that was just a majority of that shit. You could chalk that up to hardcore boxing fans just supporting real fights. You feel what I'm saying? Let me see exactly what they did. They said 700,000 pay-per-view buys generated $60 million in revenue. You know what I'm saying? That's an estimate. You feel what I mean? So between 650 to 700,000. And Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. So they did like a $500,000 more. You know what I'm saying? Than Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. But the reason why they did the numbers that they did was because they first of all, they promoted that fight really well, and I'm going to give them credit for that. Ryan Garcia did his thing. Gervonta Davis did his thing. But the casual boxing fans were backing that fight so heavily. And it intrigued, and I'm going to say that it intrigued the hardcore boxing fans to an extent. So they had both fan bases there simultaneously. And whenever you have the casual and the hardcore boxing fans at the same place at the same time, you bound to do some great numbers, man. I seen Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia promoting their shit on these streamers platforms like Kai Cenat and all them. So they was doing their thing, man. Like, I thought that, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence's fight really lacked the promotion that it really needed. And I think that was intentional. I think that, the higher ups not being satisfied with what they gave Terence Crawford. And I think that with Al Heyman being frustrated that Earl went against the grain and went against his advice, I think that was what caused it to not be promoted properly. That's just my that's just what I'm speculating. That's my little conspiracy theory or whatever. But regardless, to say that, I mean, even with 700,000, 800,000 pay-per-view buys, whatever it is, that's still some solid numbers to do in the streaming era where you could pretty much watch anything for free. You feel me? So let's get into the rest of what Coach Calvin is saying. I keep shooting his shit down. But I'm going to let him talk all the way through this time.
Right there, Coach. You just look at the pay-per-view buys with 1 and 10. You know what I'm saying? So when I see that, a good fight is chasing the Canelo numbers, the Floyd numbers. That's a big fight. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to see that fight, but they want to see what happens. Me personally, as a coach, I don't think it's a good fight because of the simple fact. Shakur's already stated, I'm not changing my style of fighting. You know what I'm saying? People want to see what a fight. You know what I'm saying? When they mention the same thing.
Did y'all hear that last part? Let me rewind that back.
I don't think it's a good fight because of the simple fact. Shakur's already stated, I'm not changing my style of fighting. You know what I'm saying? People want to see what a fight.
So he says that Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis is not a good fight because Shakur Stevenson has made it clear that he's not changing his style for nobody. And because it's not going to be a fight, a.k.a. giving Gervonta Davis an opportunity to knock you the fuck out, that's not a fight that he really cares to see. Now, Coach Calvin might be the only motherfucker in the world that don't want to see Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson happen. You feel what I mean? It's one of the most meaningful fights to be made in boxing, one of the biggest fights to be made in boxing. You know, that got to be ranked top 3 to top 5 biggest fights to be made in boxing. We can make a list right now, y'all. Number 1, in my opinion, Canelo versus Benavidez. I think that's the biggest fight to be made in boxing. You feel what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. I don't know how y'all feel, but we could really get into this. You feel what I'm saying? I think Jerron Ennis versus Terence Crawford is up there as well. I don't know where you would like to place it, but, you know, Shakur and Tank might be number 2, bro. Shit, depending on who you're talking to, it might be number 1. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think Benavidez and Canelo is the number 1 fight to be made in boxing, even though most likely it's not going to happen. But regardless, I think Shakur and Tank ranks right below that. Right below that. You feel what I'm saying? And then this is another thing, and Boxing Film beat me to it. He says, why should he? That's his style. And he's referring to what Coach Calvin said in terms of, you know, Shakur Stevenson not changing his style. Why the fuck would Shakur Stevenson change his style to benefit Gervonta Davis? Gervonta Davis is somebody who, you know, wants people to be directly in front of him. He doesn't mind somebody being the aggressor because it's only going to give him opportunities to land his kill shot. That's what I call his shots, because when he hit motherfuckers, they go out. You feel what I'm saying? So why the hell would Shakur Stevenson give him that opportunity? First of all, he not cut for that. Shakur not built for war. You feel what I'm saying? His style is hit and not get hit. Swim without getting wet. Shout out to brother Nazim. You feel what I'm saying? Swim without getting wet. That's what he get into. Y'all can't be expecting every motherfucker to sit in front of Gervonta Davis and be like, you hit me with your best shot. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't understand. Like, y'all mentalities be frustrating to me, bro. It's like, y'all just want everybody to have knockouts. Y'all want everybody to be aggressive. Y'all want everybody to be in fights. Bro, if y'all really fans of the sport, how y'all claim to be, y'all should be appreciative of every style that is presented in boxing. You feel what I mean? Obviously, you're going to be more of a fan of one style than the other. You know what I'm saying? I love a good pressure fighter that lets his hands go and got power, got concussive power. But, you know, I could also appreciate the defensive specialist. I could appreciate, you know, the guys with great angles and footwork. I can appreciate the guys who have great jabs. I can appreciate a great body puncher. I could learn to appreciate all of them. You feel what I mean? But when you are expecting this fighter, who's Shakur Stevenson, who's a hit and not get hit master with some very solid defense, when you expect him, when you're attempting to cut him out the equation because he's not fighting a fight that you're accustomed to seeing with your fighter against your fighter, all of a sudden it's not a good fight, or it's a fight that you don't really care to see. It sounds like you fear Shakur Stevenson's style going up against your fighter. That's how I look at it. Because all right, let me get into these comments real quick. I'm gonna keep cooking. Glizzy said, you think Tank could be punching at 140? I mean, he stopped Barrios at 140. He hurt him to the head and the body. So the power is there. The power is there. So I think he answered that question already. You know what I'm saying? I think he's shown it. And Barrios is a tough motherfucker. Keith Thurman could stop him, but Gervonta could. Rouse says, that would be funny as hell. According to Ford, Shakur should just stand and trade with Tank. What sense would that make? Yeah, exactly. Like, they'll say that, and then let's say if Shakur wasn't do that and he get clipped by Tank, you know what people going to say? Why would Tank do that? I'm sorry. Why would Shakur do that? That's not his style. That's not what he's good at. Why would he do that? Why would he change his game plan? He's dumb. Like, what the fuck? Like, Coach Calvin, and then he says that people misunderstand him. No, we're understanding exactly what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? You just don't want to come across as if you don't believe in your fighter Tank. But based off of the shit that you're saying, I can't help but think like that. Because if you're that confident in Gervonta Davis's style, first of all, you know they don't be confident when they start talking about the numbers. Like, bro, you're not a businessman. First of all, you're a trainer. You're not the one who who gets these bags together behind the scenes to be guaranteeing purses. You're not the one negotiating with the networks. You're not the one sitting down at the table talking to Tank about what he's gonna make. And you're not responsible for any of that. So there's no reason for you to be speaking from that standpoint. You are not a part of the business moves behind the scenes. From what I understand, Tank has an advisor. I'm sure Tank got lawyers. Tank has a manager, from what I understand. So with that being known, why are you speaking as if you're a part of that mix? You're not. You're a trainer. Your sole purpose with Gervonta Davis is to make sure he's in shape, he's fight ready, mentally he's ready, and he has a good game plan going behind him. That's the only thing your concern should be. So when I hear a trainer who's not their manager, advisor, anything like that, start talking about the numbers and what a fighter don't bring to the table, that shit is disturbing to me. That's a red flag in my head. And I ain't even gonna lie to you. I love Derrick James. But the whole lead up into the fight, when the fans were demanding Terence Crawford and Earl Spence, Derrick James kept talking about how, the fight don't sell, and it don't make sense and all this shit. And I'm like, yo, Derrick James, when you know about the business of boxing and the numbers and all that shit, like, you're a boxing trainer. Hold your fucking mitts and do them combinations with them fighters and stay in your lane, because you don't know what you're talking about. That's a red flag in my head, bro. I never heard of Derrick James being a manager or being anybody's advisor. And, you can always have your opinion, but when your sole purpose is to train a fighter and you start talking about the business behind the fighter, that's not your lane. That's not your business, bro. You feel me? I'm gonna be digging their approach sometimes. So Coach Calvin, he said in multiple interviews before that he said, why would we fight Shakur if we can't do what we do? He's letting it be known that he does not believe Gervonta Davis could implement his style on Shakur Stevenson. If he genuinely feels like that, then it's not too far-fetched to believe that he believes Shakur has a possible chance of beating Gervonta Davis. What does Gervonta Davis do? He knocks people out. What does Gervonta Davis do? Win. So if he says, why would we fight Shakur Stevenson if we can't do what we do? I'm taking it as you not being able to knock the motherfucker out and you not being able to beat that motherfucker convincingly throughout the course of 12 rounds. So it sounds like, in my mind, you don't believe in Shakur, you don't believe in Tank how you supposed to believe in Tank. You believe in this motherfucker when he fight Ryan Garcia. You believe in this motherfucker when he fight Frank Martin, Rolly Romero. Your tone, your response is totally different whenever Shakur Stevens' name is brought to the table. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't hear what I hear. I'm not one of them people. See, y'all the type motherfuckers, right? The motherfuckers, and I'm talking about the detractors, of course. I'm not talking about the nation. Y'all the type that, you and like your girl go out, right? Your girl go out, right? And she don't get home till 6 a.m. And she got a black dress on with all these white stains on her back. I'm like, yo, baby, what's that? What's all that on you? Oh, I spilled it. Somebody has spilled a drink on me. Oh, but it's all on your lower back. How that happen? Oh, somebody spilled a drink on me at the club and I couldn't get it off. I'm just. And then you're like, oh, okay. Y'all motherfuckers, y'all be the ones that be scared to address the elephant in the room. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all the type to just believe shit. Because y'all run from the truth. Y'all specialize in running from the truth. Y'all hear shit and y'all see shit, but y'all don't want to acknowledge shit. That's the type dudes y'all are. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is. The boy Glizzy said there's actual footage of Calvin hold a pass for Shakur when Shakur was helping Tank get ready for Jose Pedraza. Yeah, and I believe that was early in Shakur's career. He might have still been an amateur at the time. I'm not sure. But regardless, I'm sure that he was aware of Shakur Stevenson's skill set at that time. Yo, and I keep hearing this too. I'm glad you brought this up because I would have forgot. Tank is not even in the USA right now. What the fuck does that mean? I got like 3 comments. People's like, he's in Paris right now supporting his amateur team. So what? What does that mean? Like he can't talk. The nigga just mute. Do he got no service in France? Like I don't understand. Yo, let's not sit here and act oblivious to the shit, right? Gervonta Davis, whenever he gets a fight announced, it's typically against a motherfucker that we don't want to see him fight. Hector Luis Garcia, we never called for that fight. Mario Barrios, we never called for that fight. Rolly, it was entertaining, but we didn't really call for that fight. Ryan Garcia, you got a lot of attention. Some people call for the fight, but for the most part, we all knew that Ryan Garcia was full of shit. He was unproven. You feel what I'm saying? So it's typically against a motherfucker we don't care to see him fight. And you want to know how I know people don't really care to see him fight? Because whenever they sit down and they do interviews with Gervonta Davis, they talk about everybody for him to fight except who he's actually fighting. Go back and watch the interviews when he was about to fight Hector Luis Garcia. All they talking about in those interviews is Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, all these other guys that they calling for him to fight. That's how you know they don't give a fuck about who you fighting when they start talking about other niggas. Like, Tank could easily pick up a phone and put out something on social media like, yeah, we gonna get this shit popping with Shakur. Now, mind you, he can stay quiet if he wants to. The motherfucker, if he don't want to talk, he don't want to talk. I'm just pointing out the pattern. When he got a fight date with somebody, we don't give a fuck for him. We don't give a fuck to see. He talks shit about Shakur. He talks shit about Dev. He talk about all these guys that we want to see him fight. He talking about, they next. Then after his fight is done, he gets his little check or whatever. He disappears. And don't got nothing to say. When he could easily be behind these scenes, getting something popping with the fights we actually want to see. But because he's in Paris supporting the amateurs in the Olympics, he's completely exempt from being in touch with his fans and providing some type of transparency. Transparency is too much to ask for nowadays. Shit is crazy. Can't contracts be mailed? Bro, contracts can be sent through a fucking email. I don't know why he stays quiet. Now, people think that I'm saying he's ducking. Like for guy right here, he says, you think he's ducking? I'm not saying he's ducking. You're not understanding what I'm saying. The video that I had made earlier was saying that Gervonta Davis quiet while boxing fans demand for Shakur Stevenson fight grows. All I'm saying is I don't like the fact that he's quiet right now, and he should be giving us some type of confirmation that he's looking to make the Shakur Stevenson fight happen next. Both of these guys are available. It's the most meaningful fight for him to make in the lightweight division. It's the biggest fight to be made at this current point. Why isn't he trying to make it? That's all I'm asking. But when you ask these type of questions, it frustrates Gervonta Davis fans because they understand that I have a point. They don't really have nothing to rebuttal to that. So they be like, man, what more do you want from him? I had got a comment. What more do you want from this man? Man, what else does he have to do? As if like he been giving us the fights that we want. No, not at all. Yo, Pagai, you're wrong. You're wrong. And right before the Frank Martin fight, he said Loma next. And even though he wasn't saying shit, there was a bunch of rumors going around talking about how, they were in negotiations and they was finalizing the deal. He might have not been talking, but the people was talking. And Bob Arum was talking. Bob Arum had a location. He had a fucking date. in November, all types of shit. What are you hearing now? Are you hearing any rumors about a Shakur Stevenson fight happening? Have you heard Shakur Stevenson say he's received a contract or offer or anything like that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He tweeted after Loma Camboza saying he next. I heard it. I just don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. And if I don't like something, I'm gonna speak about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't run from shit. And if this situation applied to like David Benavidez or something, I would say the same shit. He one of my favorite fighters. I felt like Bam was moving funny. I would say the same shit. If Boots was moving like that, I would say the same shit. But guess what? It's not them that's in this situation. It's Tank. So I'm gonna call him out on that. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Most of the time, I be putting these videos out, and no one is gonna get y'all mad. But I get a fucking rise out of getting y'all niggas mad because y'all react like women, bro. Y'all emotional as hell. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get y'all panties in a bunch. Y'all be disrespecting me, calling me all types of shit when I never even disrespected Tank. But I get called out my name on the regular. This shit be crazy. I'm like, damn, that's like for real? Start disrespecting my city, start talking shit about fighters from my city. And I'm like, yo, that shit literally got nothing to do with what this video about. That's how I know you and your feelings. When in reality, you should just hold your man accountable. He said obsessed with the braids. Yeah, for sure. You know these dudes be funny money. You know these dudes funny money, man. But nah, man. Yeah, that's what I wanted to speak on with, Gervonta Davis's team having doubts and facing Shakur Stevenson. I think, in all honesty, just based off of the shit that Coach Calvin Ford is saying, that he's not too, optimistic about facing Shakur Stevenson, and it's not because of the numbers. That's simply just like a reason to try to get you to. That's just something that he's putting out there to give you the impression that it's, not about the style. But in reality, it is about the style. He told you guys time and time again. You could tell Coach Calvin not a good liar, man. He's not a good liar, and he's not good at hiding what's on his mind. He gonna say whatever the fuck is on his mind, and he's made it clear. That style he's not a fan of, and it's not from an entertainment aspect. It's from a getting ready for that style aspect. Creating a game plan, and it might be something about Gervonta Davis that Coach Calvin sees that he feels like he doesn't want Gervonta. He don't want Gervonta Davis to face that style. It's something about it that he feels like Gervonta Davis will have a hard time with. Straight like that. That's what I personally believe. Y'all can feel however y'all want to feel, but the words. It's a lot of red flags. It's a lot of red flags. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. It's a lot of red flags coming from that side. Like I said, this don't necessarily mean that. This don't necessarily mean that Shakur is shook or Shakur is ducking. This don't mean that Gervonta is shook or Gervonta Davis is ducking. It don't mean none of that. I think it's a strong possibility that if they were to get in the ring right now, like this era, like at this current moment, I think Tank has what it takes to defeat Shakur Stevenson. However, the people around him don't really look like they're in a rush to make that fight happen anytime soon. Putting out multiple lies, saying that it's not the biggest fight for Gervonta Davis. It is the biggest fight for Gervonta Davis at this moment. Says that black versus black fighters don't sell. We easily disproved that. And then he went on to say that Floyd Mayweather, when he fought a black fighter, it didn't really do numbers. We disproved that. So we all disproved that within a few minutes of this live. You see what I mean? So, Coach Calvin out here spitting bullshit. You know what I mean? And what's unfortunate is a lot of these fans, that rock with Coach Calvin or they rock with Gervonta, they ain't gonna do no research based off of what he said. They're just gonna copy and paste what he say and you know, poison other boxing fans' minds. And you know, it's gonna be copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. That's gonna be the new thing. And you know, they just going the new idea out here is that black versus black don't sell. Pagas says, me, I feel like it's going to be Tank's easier fight. Well, you should call for the fight to be made then. If you genuinely feel like that, and you're a Gervonta Davis fan, and you see that he'll get a whole bunch of credit or props for beating Shakur Stevenson, who's one of the best lightweights in the world, then you should call for that fight. There shouldn't be no discrediting of Shakur Stevenson or any type of disrespect going Shakur Stevenson's way. You should just call for the fight to happen. If you believe in your boy like that and you feel like that'll be one of his easiest fights, which I disagree with. I disagree with that. But if you genuinely feel like that, then you should call for the fight. Okay, you said that's the fight you want next. All right, well, I like that. I like that you want that fight next because there's a lot of people who are Gervonta Davis fans just like you who will say the same shit that you said. It's an easy fight, but they're not in a rush to make that fight happen next, which makes me believe that they scared money. But scared money don't make no money out here. The Agent 007 says we won't know till it happens. Yeah, exactly. But I that's exactly why I want to see it happen because I want to know. I want to know. He said, I'm so confident. You should be. If that's your guy, you should be confident. But I don't know if Coach Calvin is as confident as you. Do you think, I'm gonna ask you, poor guy. Do you think Coach Calvin is as confident as you? Based off of the things that he's saying in these videos, do you think he's as confident as you? Simple question, yes or no? Knockout season, Tank in 6, okay. But Pagad, do you believe Coach Calvin is as confident as you are currently? Based off of what he's saying in these interviews, do you think he's so sure about beating Shakur like you are? Lizzie says, Mark, who should Shakur sign to? In all honesty, I heard Pagad says, I don't agree with Calvin. That's not what I asked you, my brother. I asked you, do you believe that Coach Calvin is as confident as you? You don't got to agree with him. But I'm asking, do you think Coach Calvin is as confident as you? That's all I'm asking. He said, who should Shakur sign to? I heard Terence Crawford say something in that Andre Ward interview. He said that he should take the same route that Devin Haney takes. And essentially the same route that Terence Crawford is taking right now. You said, yes, I do? You think Coach Calvin is as confident as you? Well, everything he just said, you think he's as confident as you, but simultaneously you just said you don't agree with Calvin. You got to make it make sense, my brother. You got to make it make sense. I don't know how you don't agree with him, but then you believe he's confident. All right, whatever. Anyways, Terence Crawford, he's a free agent. He's been taking a free agent route. You know what I'm saying? And he believes that Shakur Stevenson, with the current point that he's in his career, he should take the Devin Haney route, you know what I mean, and just do shit on a fight-by-fight basis. Now, this is something that I've been saying for a while now. I think Shakur Stevenson is a big enough fighter now where he doesn't necessarily need a promoter backing him. I don't think that he does. I think that he is a big enough name where he could go fight by fight to a promoter and be like, yo, let's try to make this fight happen. You know what I'm saying? He could go over the Top Rank. He could try to get this fight. He could go over to Golden Boy, try to get this fight. He could go over to PBC and get this fight. And he shouldn't have a problem doing so. Mikey Garcia did the same shit. As soon as Mikey Garcia left Top Rank, you know what I mean? He did business with PBC for a few fights. He worked with Eddie Hearn for a few fights. He was going all over the place, and he wasn't tied down to a promoter. He was able to get on PBC and DAZN back to back. Canelo Alvarez did it. You know what I'm saying? Canelo Alvarez, as soon as he left Golden Boy, was doing work with Eddie Hearn, jumped over to PBC, go back to Eddie Hearn, did a fight with Golden Boy on the PBC platform. He could literally move however he wants. If I'm Shakur Stevenson, the only thing I would really care to have is a lawyer, maybe a manager. You know what I'm saying? I would be my own promoter if I'm Shakur Stevenson at this point. You know, if you want to get into a partnership, that's cool too. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, I would have a good lawyer with me to, you know, read my contracts. You feel what I mean? Because I'm not about to sit here and act like, you know, I'm that, you know, well versed in the business world. There might be some hidden shit in there that, you know, I need to be made aware of, and that's what the lawyer would be for. Get a good lawyer and maybe a good manager. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Work out my deals and negotiate my fight prices, whatever. But that's something you can easily do on your own. You feel what I'm saying? I don't really feel like Shakur has to, you know, lock himself down to any promoter. I think he's big enough and well known enough where he could just do fights on a case by case basis. It's not like he broke or needing for money. Glizzy says, I think Bud stays with Turkey. If Turkey keep throwing cash, Bud going nowhere. I mean, I think that's the right move. I think that's the right move. You know, a lot of these dudes, you know, Bud was talking about how a lot of these promoters don't really like him because he don't really be like he don't be, you know, backing down from them. You feel what I'm saying? He don't really like he don't listen to them. He don't like he said, like Dr. Umar said, I scratch when I itch and I only dance when I like the music. That's the type of boy that Terence Crawford is. You know what I mean? He not gonna be like no company man, like fucking egghead ass Timothy Bradley. You feel what I'm saying? He like to move on his own accord. He don't really like to be told what to do, and he's his own boss. And he's understanding that because he's the fighter, he's the boss at the end of the day. A lot of these fighters, you know, they had this mind frame where it's like they'll say out in public that they're a boss, but you know, they really be listening to what these dudes be telling them. These advisors, these lawyers, these promoters, you know what I'm saying? They be falling in line with whatever the promoters say. So they be talking like they bosses, but they really don't be getting into shit. You feel what I mean? So Buzz says that these promoters don't like him, and Turkey Al-Sheikh pretty much came to his rescue and was like, yo, you my favorite fighter, and I want you to be more active. I want to do business with you. So, you know, that was Terence Crawford's blessing, man. You know what I mean? Because without Turkey Al-Sheikh, who knows what the fuck Terence Crawford will be doing right now. You know, Bob Arum shitted on his name. PBC got, you know, they feel a way about how the way Errol Spence went against the grain and still chose to fight Terence Crawford. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Anonymous. He said, Crawford said recently in an interview he's never had a promoter that supports and believes in him like Turkey. That's a fact. That's a fact, bro. Like, you got to understand, like, they poorly promoted Terence Crawford. They didn't keep him. He admitted that he wasn't as active as he wanted to be. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and you know, that's why he ended up going to court with Bob Arum and Top Rank and all that. Because he felt like they really, you know, put a hold on his career and they stunned his growth as a fighter. You feel what I mean? So Turkey Al-Sheikh actually like promoting his fights. You know, he got him going to the WWE. Yeah, he got him doing all this shit that he should have been doing early on in his career, just giving him what he truly deserves, man. And I am happy for Bud. Anonymous, I'm happy right along with you. You know what I'm saying? And I was saying in one of my latest videos that I wish that Turkey Al-Sheikh would have came around when that first deal, you know, because, you know, Bud deal had expired with Tyreek at one point. He ended up re-signing. I wish that Turkey Al-Sheikh would have came in the mix right around that time. You see what I mean? I think his career would have turned out a lot different, but it is what it is, man. I mean, that's in the past. Everything happens for a reason, just like Bud say. And Bud fell victim to politics multiple times throughout his career. He was fucked out of that Manny Pacquiao fight. He begged for that fight. He did everything he could to get that fight, and Bob Arum blatantly shut him out of that deal. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't for Earl, they would have shut him out of the Earl Spence fight. You know what I'm saying? If Earl was like a regular company man that just listened to whatever I'll say or whatever Steven Espinoza was saying at Showtime, Bud would have never got that opportunity. And that's facts. But, you know, he was able to come out on top. You know what I mean? He was able to beat the politics of boxing. He getting them dubs inside and outside of the ring. So shout out to Bud for that. He's getting the recognition and the respect he deserves in the boxing world. And it's really hard to beat motherfuckers out. It's hard to beat the politics outside of the ring. He was able to do so. So shout out to Bud. Bud versus Boots is also a fight to be made. I agree. I was just saying earlier that that's top 3 fights, in my opinion, to make in boxing right now. I was saying Benavidez, Canelo is number 1 in my head. Gervonta and Shakur might be right under that. And then Bud and Boots might fall right in line after that. And I would usually include Bivol and Better Beef, but I'm not including this since they got a fight day. I believe they fighting in October. So, I mean, that shit already locked in. So I'm not even about to talk about that one. But, Shakur and, Bud and Boots is definitely one of the most popular fights to be made. Said Turkey only going to make Bud Boots if he throws Bud a stupid check. I think, no, I'm going to rephrase. You got to rephrase that. I think Bud Boots is only going to be made if Turkey throw Bud a stupid check. Because the whole thing with Terence Crawford and what his team is saying now is that Boots don't bring nothing to the table. He got bigger fish to fry. He looking to get some money. He don't feel like he going to make much money off the Boots fight. And, because he's been fucked over so many times in his career, I see why he's chasing the money right now. I think when he was with Tyrek, he was only getting a $2 million guarantee. With everything he accomplished, he was only getting $2 million. You feel what I mean? So he looking to, he trying to make up for lost time. I get it. But if Turkey was to be like, yo, we got 8 figures for this Boots fight, I highly doubt Bud turns it down. I think the only thing that's stopping it is a good check. Now, with the relationship that Eddie Hearn has with Turkey Al-Sheikh, will Turkey do that favor for Boots? You know what I mean? I don't know. That fight were to happen, it'll possibly be in 2025. You feel me? Because, Turkey Al-Sheikh is really locked in on Canelo and Bud. Agent 007 says, if Joe Joyce and Wilder was going to fight, who you got and why? I mean, at this current stage in their careers, man, bro, I think, like, Joe Joyce, he definitely, he cooked. You know what I'm saying? I think Zhang really did a number on him. You know what I'm saying? The first fight took a lot of damage. The second fight was like the nail in the coffin. You feel what I mean? And you can tell that Joe Joyce, he's not that juggernaut that he used to be. You feel what I'm saying? So, that's definitely not the Joe Joyce that I seen beat Daniel Dubois. You know what I mean? Who took Daniel Dubois? But Wilder, he just looks like he don't have it at all. I think that Deontay Wilder is a little bit more over the hill than Joe Joyce is at this point in his career. At least with Joe Joyce, when I was watching that fight with Derek Chisora, he still had a sturdy chin. You know what I'm saying? Pause. I still think that he has a solid beard on him. Wilder, on the other hand, it just seemed like his punch resistance has went down the drain. He's a pretty sturdy dude, in terms of punch resistance, early in his career. But I think that Tyson Fury trilogy really took a lot out of him. I think the inactivity took some out of him. But I think that the damage that he sustained from the Tyson Fury fights done a number on him. And I think that Wilder is more damaged than Joe Joyce. So with that being known, even though he would have a strong chance of landing that right hand on Joe Joyce, it don't even seem like Deontay Wilder's right hands have the same mustard on them that they used to. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like his whole body just went uncoordinated. He don't really look like he sits down on his right hand how he used to. He don't turn his right hand over with the same explosiveness. I don't know. Both of these guys are completely done, in my opinion, especially in terms of fighting at a high level. But maybe Joe Joyce has a little bit more left than Deontay Wilder. Now, they're both fighting at their peak. Deontay Wilder absolutely decapitates Joe Joyce. But given that both of these guys are damaged goods, maybe Joe Joyce just has a little bit more gas left in the tank than Deontay Wilder. Watching that Zhang fight was sad, bro. It was really sad. It's sad to see that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of Deontay Wilder, especially when he was at his peak. You know what I'm saying? Love watching his fights. But, he's no longer that person. And, he tried to give off multiple reasons why. You know what I mean? He was no longer that fighter. He blamed it on ring rust. He blamed it on, not having that, being at peace. And I think that he pointed at every reason except the reality. And it was that you a shot fighter. You took a lot of punishment in your career, and your body's not able to take that same punishment anymore. You feel what I'm saying? Your body can only take so much before you become a shell of yourself. And that's basically what happened with him. Yeah, Wilder, you could tell in that Zhang fight that he wasn't himself. You know what I mean? Like, we knew he wasn't himself in that Joseph Parker fight, but we left the possibility out there that it may have possibly been ring rust or inactivity. You know what I'm saying? Because when he knocked out Hellenius, he took a long layoff after that, and it was only a 1-round fight. So, we under the impression that maybe it was ring rust. Joseph Parker caught him slipping. Blah blah blah. He having a quick turnaround against Zhang. He just, Zhang, he's slow and he don't really got defense. All they got to do is land the right hand. He can knock Zhang out. And, nah, man. His legs weren't underneath him from the very beginning. Very off balance. You could see, he had the right hand lined up so many times. He just couldn't pull the trigger. Just showing every sign to let you know that, you know what I mean? He's a shot fighter. And then his punch resistance is down the drain. You know what I'm saying? And the way he just went out is like, bro, we don't want to see that again. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to see that no more. You feel me? So, it is what it is. He said, in my opinion, Usyk going to stop Fury in the rematch and finish the job against Fury. I feel like that rematch is going to be Fury's last fight. Yeah, man, that's going to be unfortunate too because in all honesty, I wanted to see Fury and Joshua, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy for Usyk. After that Fury fight, I had him crowned pound for pound #1. But, something in me just – because I don't want to see a trilogy between Usyk and Joshua, bro. I can see them already trying to line that shit up. And, it's not really a rivalry, man. Usyk is 2-0 against AJ. You feel me? So, it's just stylistically, Usyk just got Joshua number. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing wrong with that. But, if Joshua, I want to see, I feel like Joseph Parker should fight Joshua since Joseph Parker got 2 good wins back to back. He beat Wilder, then he beat Zhang. So he should be in line to face Anthony Joshua after he fights Dubois and shit like that. You feel what I mean? But, I did want to see Fury versus Joshua happen. But, it seems like I think the Wilder fights took a toll on, Tyson Fury too, because it seems like his punch resistance isn't the same. You feel what I'm saying? So we'll see. This man got dropped against Francis Ngannou. You feel me? Which ain't nothing wrong with that because Francis Ngannou is a hell of a puncher. But then you getting clipped with a left hand from a fucking blown up cruiserweight, and he doing a chicken dance for 40 seconds around the ring when you low key should have got stopped. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. What can I say? What can I say? You know what I'm saying? So let's get a few more questions in here before I get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that's coming through and showing love to the channel. You feel what I mean? I appreciate everybody that's coming through on the channel. Let's get a few more questions before I get up out of here so I can get my rest and get ready for my morning. You feel me? He said, I seen a video where Calvin said they're going to send a contract to Shakur. Okay. I seen that too. But, you know, in that same video, if we watch the same one, he didn't say that he's going to send that contract to Shakur for it to be the next fight. You feel me? He said that fight was not going to be next. In that same interview, he let you know that fight was not going to be next, but they was going to send Shakur a contract. But he didn't say exactly when he was going to send the contract. So, you know, it's slick little word and shit like that. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I ain't going to keep complaining, you know. I'm going to just keep pointing out the obvious, keep holding motherfuckers accountable. And if, you know, these fans don't like it, I could really care less. You feel me? Who do you think could dethrone Usyk? Man, I just think Usyk just came around at the perfect time because on some real shit, bro, like, I think Wilder before the Fury fight would have clipped Usyk. Luis Ortiz, stylistically, when he was at his peak, I think he would have gave Usyk problems too. I don't know. I think Fury at one point in time probably would have beat him too. I don't know. I just feel like he catching motherfuckers lacking. I ain't gonna hold you. AJ, I don't know. Who can dethrone Usyk? I don't know. I feel like he at the top right now. Let's shoot for I mean, he already beat Dubois. Zhang too slow for Usyk. He'll light Zhang up. You said I agree. Ortiz beats everyone in his prime. Jared Anderson? Nah. Jared Anderson got speed, athletic. He got some pop, but I don't know. That Charles Martin fight said a lot to me. He got some sharpening up to do. I think he needed a little bit more seasoning. Yeah, Rouse said he too green. Yeah, he need a little bit more seasoning. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Usyk really like he on a different level right now. I still want to see Jared Anderson versus FA. I want to see that. He should beat FA. FA slow. But that'd be a good fight for him to add to the resume. Damn. I don't know if anybody being Usyk right now, man. I don't know if anybody being Usyk right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't really name nobody. You know what I mean? But all right, y'all. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the nation and the mob for coming through. You know what I mean, and contributing to the conversation. You know what I mean, the day ones, you know, the new ones that's coming through here that fuck with the channel, man. I appreciate you guys very much. Anonymous said best chance is probably AJ at Dubois, and we're seeing how those matchups went. Yeah, he beat both of them, so you know, it is what it is. Maybe this more aggressive version of AJ that we've been seeing lately probably will have a better chance. But, you know, AJ, I don't know, it's something about him where, you know, he want to prove so bad that he's like this high IQ level boxer. And, you know, I don't know. I don't think AJ really got that dog anymore like that. You feel me? So I don't think he'll make it a rough, rugged fight or anything like that. You feel me? I think he's going to sit there and, you know, be frozen up by, you know, Usyk's boxing ability and just get tattooed just like he did in those other two fights. You feel me? But anyways, shout out to the nation and the mob, man. Go check out MazumaMerch.com. Y'all see it on the banner right there. MazumaMerch.com, man. Go check out the merch. Get you a t-shirt, hoodie, crew neck, long sleeve, tank top, die-cut stickers, coffee mugs. We got it all on there, man. Support the channel. Shout out to everybody that's been contributing to the channel. You feel what I mean? I'm going to get up out of here and give me some rest. Shout out to the nation and the mob. I hope y'all have a blessed, beautiful night. Peace.